Baku has taken center stage on the global urban development agenda as it hosted the opening ceremony of the 13th session of the World Urban Forum on May 18th. The event brought together more than 45,000 participants from 182 countries, making it the second largest international gathering ever held in Azerbaijan, following COP29. Addressing the forum, President Ilham Aliyev underlined Azerbaijan's growing role in sustainable urban planning and its close cooperation with UN Habitat. He highlighted the country's national urban forums already held in Agdam, Zangala, and Hankendi since 2022, reflecting what he described as a consistent state-led approach to reconstruction and development. A central focus of his address was the large-scale rebuilding of Garabah and East Zangezur, where decades of occupation left widespread destruction. President Aliyev detailed ongoing reconstruction efforts, including roads, tunnels, bridges, schools, hospitals, railways, and 3 international airports, emphasizing that this transformation is now matched by the return of displaced citizens under the Great Return Program.
And this is how the owners of the land, behave, unlike those who come only to demolish, to destroy, and to bring sufferings. Today, more than 85,000 of Azerbaijanis already live in the former occupied territories. They work, they live, they study, and their employment is also one of the important targets in front of our government.
Mr. President, great to see you.
Building on this vision of reconstruction, President Ilham Aliyev told Euronews on the sidelines of the forum that Azerbaijan has developed a unique experience in building cities and villages from scratch. The country is now shifting from basic infrastructure development toward modern housing, guided by smart city and smart village concepts in Garabah and East Zangezur. The president also turned to Azerbaijan's expanding role in global energy markets, noting the country's growing renewable capacity, including 307 megawatts of hydropower already commissioned and 340 megawatts of solar power under construction. He highlighted the strategic importance of the Southern Gas Corridor, which now delivers Azerbaijani natural gas to 16 countries, including 12 in Europe.
Very soon, probably in the beginning of next month, we will report about the beginning of gas production from the new field. So it's a win-win situation. We need a premium market, yes, which is Europe, yes, and Europe needs alternative source of supply, which is Azerbaijan. So we combine our efforts and established a very fruitful cooperation with the European Commission.
Addressing concerns over regional instability, President Aliyev stressed that Azerbaijan's diversified energy routes have helped shield the country from disruptions, ensuring the stability of its export infrastructure despite global volatility. On the sidelines of the World Urban Forum 13, the Air Center hosted an international panel titled Revival and Herbicide: Sustainable Urban Development and Resilient Communities, bringing together government officials, diplomats, academics, and urban development experts from across the globe. The discussion focused on herbicide, post-conflict reconstruction, sustainable urban planning, environmental damage, landmine contamination, and the development of resilient communities. Addressing the event, Air Center Chairman Farid Shafiev called for greater international recognition of herbicide within international law, describing it as the deliberate destruction of cities, cultural heritage, and conditions for the return of displaced populations. Participants also explored smart cities, renewable energy, and climate-adaptive solutions to support Azerbaijan's reconstruction efforts in Garabah and East Zangezur regions. From energy security to regional diplomacy, Azerbaijan's leadership role was also on display earlier this month at the informal summit of the Organization of Turkic States in Turkestan, Kazakhstan, held on May 15th. At the summit, President Ilham Aliyev emphasized the strength of Azerbaijan-Kazakhstan relations, elevated to an alliance level through a joint declaration signed 4 years ago. He also highlighted the growing international influence of the Organization of Turkic States and Azerbaijan's current chairmanship, which he said is focused on deepening cooperation among member countries.
Bugün Türk Devletleri Teşkilatı'nın beynəlxalq çəkisi artır. Today, the international standing of the Organization of Turkic States is growing, and its role and position in global affairs are strengthening. Having assumed the chairmanship at the Gabala summit in October last year, Azerbaijan is working toward further deepening cooperation within the framework of the organization.
A major theme of the summit was digital transformation. President Aliyev called on Turkic states to take a leading role in artificial intelligence and innovation, noting Azerbaijan's own institutions in this field, including the Digital Development Council, the National Artificial Intelligence Center, and the AI Academy. He also highlighted progress on regional connectivity projects such as the Digital Silk Road and the Trans-Caspian fiber optic cable linking Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan, which is expected to become operational in the coming months. Transport integration, including the Middle Corridor and the future Zangezur Corridor, was also identified as a key strategic priority. Azerbaijan's growing diplomatic engagement with Europe was further highlighted on May 4, when President Ilham Aliyev addressed the 8th European Political Community Summit via video link. In his speech, he criticized the biased resolutions by the European Parliament and double standards within the Council of Europe, saying such actions undermined cooperation and dialogue.
Since May 2021, 6 months after the end of the Second Karabakh War, until 30th April 2026, European Parliament adopted 14 resolutions full of insults, lies about Azerbaijan. Just imagine, 14 resolutions in 5 years, kind of an obsession. The last one, only 4 days ago, deliberately right prior to the summit. Instead of addressing fundamental problems of some member states, such as xenophobia, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, migration, competitiveness, problems of the homeless people, European Parliament targets Azerbaijan, spreading slander and lie. And the reason is that Azerbaijan restored its territorial integrity and sovereignty, put an end to separatism, and brought war criminals to justice.
Diplomatic momentum was also evident in bilateral relations with Italy, as President Ilham Aliyev and President of the Council of Ministers of the Italian Republic Giorgia Meloni held both one-on-one and expanded talks in Baku on May 4. President Aliyev described Italy as Azerbaijan's top trading partner and a key energy ally, while highlighting growing cooperation in infrastructure, connectivity, and reconstruction projects in liberated territories. Meloni, for her part, described Azerbaijan as a strategic partner and emphasized its role as a bridge between regions stretching from the South Caucasus to the Mediterranean. Following their talks, both leaders reaffirmed the strength of the strategic partnership, first established in 2014 and reinforced in 2020.
Bizim siyasi alakalarımız bildiğiniz gibi en yüksek seviyededir. Aynı zamanda
As you know, our political relations are at the highest level. Simultaneously, our trade relations are in excellent condition. Italy is Azerbaijan's #1 trading partner. Last year, our trade turnover amounted to approximately $12 billion. Naturally, one of the primary directions of our relations is partnership in the energy sector. Here, too, we have supported each other as reliable partners for many years. Azerbaijan ranks second in Italy's oil supply and also second in its gas supply. For us, the Italian market is of primary importance for both oil and gas.
The president also emphasized plans to increase natural gas exports to Italy through the expansion of the Trans-Adriatic pipeline. Beyond energy, President Aliyev described military-technical cooperation as a promising new area, with discussions focusing on joint projects, production opportunities, and the integration of Italian technology with Azerbaijani investment. Meloni highlighted energy as a cornerstone of bilateral ties, noting that Azerbaijani oil and gas exports have played a key role in Italy's energy security since the start of the war in Ukraine. She said both sides are looking to expand cooperation beyond energy supplies by strengthening industrial partnerships and connectivity.
İsterdik ki Azerbaycan
We would like Azerbaijan to strengthen its role as a fundamental hub between Europe and Asia. In this regard, Italy is always ready to play the role of a privileged gateway to the European market. It is clear that such a plan requires investments, long-term programs, and the alignment of the most suitable opportunities within the production and industrial systems of our countries. For this reason, we have planned to organize a business forum here in Baku in the second half of 2026 to turn our political cooperation into concrete opportunities for our enterprises and workers.
She also thanked Azerbaijan for assistance in evacuating Italian citizens from Iran and temporarily hosting the Italian embassy during regional tensions. Energy, however, remained the backbone of bilateral ties, with Azerbaijani oil and gas continuing to play a vital role in Italy's energy security. Beyond diplomacy and energy, Azerbaijan continues to advance reconstruction on the ground in its liberated territories. During recent visits, President Ilham Aliyev inaugurated major infrastructure projects in Jabrail, Zangilan, Hankendi, and Kocaeli, including rebuilt villages, residential complexes, hospitals, energy substations, industrial enterprises, and cultural centers. These developments form part of the ongoing Great Return program, aimed at restoring life and economic activity across the region. As Azerbaijan continues to develop for the future, it also celebrates and honors the significant events of its past. This month marked the 108th anniversary of the Azerbaijan Democratic Republic, established on May 28, 1918. The Azerbaijan Democratic Republic was the first secular parliamentary republic in the Muslim East and the first Muslim-majority state to grant women the right to vote. Its parliament reflected the country's multicultural fabric, and its diplomatic outreach included early contact with the United States at the Paris Peace Conference in 1919. Although the republic lasted just 23 months before the Soviet invasion in 1920, its legacy of independence, democracy, and statehood continues to shape modern Azerbaijan.